Hello, hello, hello. We have
Hello.
made it. We did it, Keri.
You did it. Uh-oh. I just drank some tea. My focus has been so off today. It's been terrible. So I drank some tea for my voice and for my focus, and I hope it works better on my focus than my voice.
Oh my gosh. For everybody joining in the live, this is the One Heart, One Earth Global Awakening event for November 2020. I am Lisa Gunshore. I've been your host, and this is our final, this is it. Our final presentation, our final live, our finality.
We have arrived.
We have. And my voice is also like, enough is enough.
Right?
But Keri, we're going to talk about you and we're going to talk about trusting the process, but we do have to talk for just a minute about how incredible the past couple weeks have been.
I have no words. It has been so overwhelmingly beautiful and regenerative, and there's so many resources, new resources that we can all access from the presenters, the faculty. And thank you for bringing us all together here. And this village of people, we can do great things, folks. Let's do this.
It's so true. And I'm so grateful to each and every person who's been a part of this, whether you've been watching or helping or behind the scenes or any of the things that everyone's been doing. I'm just so thankful. And Keri, you've been such a help and a support in so many unique and ways that I never even thought I'd need help with. And we ended up needing to do all sorts of things. So I'm just so thankful to you and to your incredible energy. And Marlena, hi. She's saying hi. If you guys want to share where you're from, we love that. Yes. So Keri, you have a beautiful presentation. You also have an inspiring story in Awakened Grace, the documentary series. And this is an opportunity for you to just share with the community who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow. In my little presentation that I did in introduction to this format, I talked about where I came from and what happened and what it's like now. And I find today that I'm very much like I was when I came into this world. It was not so much an awakening as a reawakening for me. We're born with certain personality traits, certain spirit guides, certain gifts, and through life, I think society is, and it's not intentional, but society quiets that in us and sometimes kills it. When I was very young, I saw beings. I communicated with animals, and I was always told, well, that's not real. You didn't see that. No, you can't do that. Unbelievable. Hi, Erica. Thank you. And so I kind of went through life more in a state of living by accident. Pretty much everything was a happy accident. But I grew up, for a little background, for those who haven't watched my pre-presentation, I grew up in a home. My father was schizophrenic. My mother was clinically depressed. They didn't want children. Well, mom didn't want children ever, I don't think. But there ended up being 4 of us girls, and we lived pretty much to protect ourselves. And in that, I developed these coping skills that served me very well then. And as I progressed through puberty and into adulthood, I had learned that there was no one who could be trusted. I learned that I could, because of that, I could keep those people I did not trust away from me by being big and scary like a cat. And because I learned that from my animal friends, right?
Yeah.
And so, and that worked very, very well for a time. And I turned to, because I had all of this anger. I mean, if you're putting anger out there, you're living it on the inside. And I began using drugs and alcohol and going places and seeing things that nobody should have to go or see. And and we pick up pieces of that as we go along. We pick up pieces of the people, pieces of the places, and it kind of sticks to us. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
All of that energy sticks to us. And I had manifested what I had told that I had been told as a child that I was. I was unlovable. I was unwanted. I was unworthy. We were very poor. I was the child who, when there was a slumber party at one of the girlfriends at school, everybody was invited but me, which was actually a gift. I didn't see it at the time, but it's all about the gifts that these things brought. And as I fell deeper and deeper into my addictions, and addiction is a very baffling thing because it overcomes you to the exclusion of all else, to the exclusion of relationships, to the exclusion of taking care of oneself, to the exclusion of simple day-to-day function. And when I got to a place that at the very end, I was drinking every day, as much as I could every day. And I still say, if I could drink normally, I would drink a lot every day. and and this is the twisted way of my addictive personality. And so I was sleeping with a bottle because I would wake up at night, and from all that energy sticking to me that I had picked up over the years, I couldn't stand to be in my own skin. And more than anything, I just wanted out of it. And so I had a suicide attempt, a failed suicide attempt, and thank heaven. And when I got up the next day and I looked in the mirror and I saw someone looking back at me that I did not recognize, I was hollow and pewter colored. And I thought, I don't even know who this is. And I said a simple prayer. I said, God, help me. And it was the most sincere prayer I had said, I believe, in my entire life. And I had one more little thing to do with my addiction before I really quit. And because I can't let go of things, everything I've often said, everything I've ever let go of had claw marks in it from taking it back and taking it back. and and it not serving me well and I not serving it well. And I was widowed very young, and then I had a failed marriage, and then I had another failed marriage, which I call my accidental marriage, cracks my husband up. And all of that was about self-will. I thought I was running the show. And spirit told me, my instincts told me, do not do this. But I listened to my brain. My brain made excuses, it made rationales, and and I drug myself through hell thinking about it instead of following the simple purpose of spirit. So back to that jumping off place, I ended up getting clean, but I really don't remember that first year much, except for a lot of time just getting my health back and getting my life back and trying to figure out I immediately went to school. And I'm not sure the wisdom of that, but it's a pretty interesting story, and I feel comfortable sharing it here. That I thought, well, I've been to jail a few times, so I'll go into law. I know something about that. And that was the rationale for my career path, believe it or not.
Oh my God, I love that so
And,
much.
and it's been a wonderful career. But it's no longer serving me well.
Hmm.
And I am ready to do
You're my
something.
blind. Keep going.
I'm ready to do something else, and I'm willing to do something else. And I find that um, when I quit practicing in my addiction, this amazing group of women enfolded me in their arms and showed me this way. And they showed me the process of getting back to who I was as a child, who I was, my authentic self that I was born into this life to be. And I was a loving child. I was a gentle child. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I never wanted to hurt anything. Um, I just remember feeling this sweetness. And so through the process, I first had to look at where I felt I'd been wronged. I had to look at all of the prior hurts. And then I had to get clear on if they were real or imagined. And believe me, there were some imagined hurts there. Because again, I'm in my head. I'm all up in my head. And that's been 30 some years ago. And I find that we're all ever evolving. I found my spiritual path. I learned to trust my knowing and not necessarily to trust my head. And I've learned that I have a powerful knowing, and when I work with other people, I am able to see. I could never put my finger on what that knowing was. And we all know it today to be psychic ability because we all have it. And I'm able to see those wounds in other people and where they might need to go to resolve that. So that's the process that I talk about that's the short version of the process that I'm talking about when I say trust the process. And the process will help us to arrive at a new life. I look at my life in increments because each piece of my life has been oh so separate from the others. And it's also been quite an adventure. I've learned to take risks. If I want to do something fun, I should just do it. Even if I'm not sure, even if it scares me a little bit, I can do it once and not have to do it again. And from there, I just feel like life is on an even keel now and has been for some time due to this awakening. There you have the process, thumbnail version.
I love you, Keri.
I love you too.
You know, we've known each other quite some time. And really we met in the middle of what I guess you could say was my dark night of the soul. Although I've never related to the dark night of the soul terminology. Like I've never related to that. I've never actually used that terminology, to be honest. It was more like that time I got divorced and my dog died and my car blew up and right? Like it was more like,
Right.
oh, that was when I like to think of it as the tower card or something else, but it was never darkness. Like the spirits were there and the light was there. And so what you say is so beautiful because the process is really messy.
That was your breakthrough moment. I believe that was where you broke through to journey back to you.
Yeah.
I really feel this. So you understand what I'm saying. It's so hard to articulate.
Yeah, because it's not like a single thing and there's and it's not like you're in the shadow. Then it was the shadow that brought you there. It was the darkness that brought you there. It's not like,
Yes.
oh, now I'm in the darkness. It was like, oh, I see all the darkness. Isn't it more about seeing the dark? Like, it's like, oh, I see what's happening here. This is all wrong.
It is, and you make a very good point. I call it threading the needle. You
Yeah.
know, I and self-will run riot. When I had that accidental marriage, it was totally self-will run riot because I was in my head and I was exercising self-will and I wasn't listening to God's source and I wasn't listening to my intuitive self. And look where that got me. And the harder I tried, the worse it got. And I now recognize if I'm trying too hard at something, self-will is at the helm.
Oh my God.
And
You're so right. And I did it too. And you guys, I did it after I had been to the Dalai Lama. I'd had all these profound experiences. I'd really gotten my life on track. Things were better than they'd ever been. And I had it wasn't a marriage, but it was like an accidental relationship. I like how you say that, where it was like I went right back to being with an addict,
mhm,
right back into my codependent nature, right back into destruction. And here I'd done all this healing work. I'd had all this time alone. I'd had all this time to heal. I'd lost 100 pounds and I still went and did it. And I sure learned a lot from that. Like that was really another, I like how you say the increments, because it was like another chapter where it was like,
yes.
oh, because you know what it was, Keri, is the first my marriage, the first marriage I've had. I've only had two. One and then this one I'm in now, but the first marriage was with an alcoholic. And I thought it was his problem.
Sure.
That's what I thought. I thought, oh, it's his problem. Like, I left, I'm free from it, everything's good. And then that second relationship, which came 5 years later, 6 years later, something like that, was with an addict, a drug addict, and alcohol. That relationship was when I said, oh, it's my problem. I'm doing this. I'm making these choices. It's not to blame someone else. It was like, I see. I
Well,
need to look at this.
you make such a good point, Lisa. And this is where part of the process comes in. When we look at where did I set the ball in motion? That's a piece of the process too, is where did I set the ball in motion? And sometimes we're not responsible for that. I wasn't responsible for not being wanted when I was born. That one I give over. But so many times, 99% of the time, I've got something to do with it. I'm the common denominator
Mm-hmm.
in tripping myself up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. And that's when you realize, and when you can laugh about it, I think too, when you get to that place where like, oh boy, it's me doing me again. What am I doing? And that's where you do have to trust the process. You can't take it so seriously. And that's hard to do when you're in the middle of it. We've all been in the middle of our tears and our sadness and our disappointment and all those things. But I don't know about you, but I'm definitely in a place where I can laugh about it now, where it's like anytime something comes up that's one of my patterns, the patterns never go away. I hope everyone knows that. You can do 100 things, patterns don't go away, but it's how you react to it, where now it's like, oh, yep, pull that back. And you pull it back a lot sooner. You don't go make crazy decisions, or you don't continue the codependent relationship, or you don't continue to, be toxic. You know, you
You
pull
know,
out.
something I found, Lisa, is that once I get a big lesson like that, when I've been trying and trying and trying and nothing's just working, and I'm beating myself bloody about it, once I get that lesson, then I'll have several incidents where I can confirm that I've got that lesson. where I just got out of a sick relationship, and then here comes this guy, and he looks so attractive, and he's everything I want in my codependent world, and oh my gosh, that's that same guy again.
Yes.
And so I get to confirm and react differently in this new situation. And like you say, it gets easier and easier as time goes by. I don't beat myself bloody anymore. Sometimes I beat myself pretty badly, but at least, and this is where it's really important to have trusted and honest friends
Mm-hmm.
that can go, oh, you're thinking again. I see. And my thinking is not always on point. I need to check that out with other people.
Vicky says, I call it, I have a broken picker.
Yeah, Vicky and I's pickers have been broken for we have. I love you, sis.
I love her too. I love you too, Vicky. Yeah, yeah, I like what you're saying. It's so true. Like you're like, and I had a really beautiful. This is what I'm going to write about, Keri. This is going to be my next book. I'm going to write about all this. I've been around and around with it, and finally it landed like exactly what I'm going to do. But I had quite the journey with the dating world, and I really had a beautiful closure to it before I met Scott, who's just the most amazing life partner I could have ever asked for. But I had really beautiful closure where I was able, myself and those men that were in my life through those 7 years of being single, we came to a place where there was this mutual, like, we know that this is not healthy. And we also acknowledge that we're both really great people. I actually had this really great
Wow.
closure with these few people that had been in my life. It was such a gift. And there was such respect there at the end. And there was respect from them with me that I was choosing me, that I was making the choice.
Wow.
For me. And that, of course, is when I met my husband now, Scott. And I think that there's a reason for that. I think I met him because I was ready. I was really ready to be with a real partner and not. And I think what I want to say to everyone out there is, if you're in a relationship, we can try to make it work and try to make it work and try to make it work and be all twisted up about it. But when I threw out that addict, when I threw them out, asked them to go, God, the relief I felt. So you got to be careful. If you're feeling exhausted and broken and tired and emotional all the time, you really have to ask yourself why you're trying to make that work, because it's just simply not the only thing there is. And you don't have to live in that kind of emotional distress.
And Lisa, when I meet that person, that same person that I had unsuccessful relationships with, I have a visceral reaction. It's again so hard to put my finger on and articulate, but I have a feeling in my solar plexus when I'm around those people that I know to keep my distance. I just keep a cushion between us. So listen to your instincts. Learn to trust your instincts. Trust the process. Oh, Calder, she's so sweet. You wore her out.
I know. She's worn out. I don't know how to move this. Okay, well, hard to see around here, but yeah, she's worn out. She's like a little baby. She just wants to be, she's like, I just want to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Christine says, my dad used to say stinkin' thinkin'.
Dad was such a wise man, Christine.
I love that.
Right?
What are your thoughts, Keri, on now forward? Like, things are just, I've said wild all week because it really is just wild. It's kind of like, the kitty runs around and she's galloping and she's crazy. And that's like literally what's happening around all of us right now. It's like, what is going on out there? We're all in here, walking out there. And, we're headed into this new space and I feel all this creative energy. I mean, I feel like it's going to be really great, but I also feel like there's a lot of change. And so what are you feeling and thinking about next?
Well, I'm feeling, yes, that there's going to be a lot of change. And I think for the most part, I feel for the most part that the change is positive. I believe the change is really, really positive, and it's what we make it too. And things will be different. Definitely. Change is always scary. But I feel like literally talking about the age of Aquarius, we're transitioning into a time where people are more aware of what we're doing to the planet and the value in exchanging services, where I feel like commerce is going to change drastically, but I don't know how that is. I don't know what that'll look like, but it's going to work. It'll work. I really don't have any trepidation around the future. It's all going to be good. It's all good. Trust the process.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and there's always been this push and pull between what we perceive as good and evil, and I don't know that there is any such thing necessarily. There's what's for the higher good and what's going to damage the higher good, and often I think that damage is done unconsciously. I don't believe that for the most part. Yeah, it's out there, but for the most part, I believe that we've come to a place of consciousness to the point where we can start healing. We can start healing our communities. We can heal our earth. We can heal the atmosphere. We just all have to, it's that village mentality. We all have to stick with this village and make it and help it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think what I feel in looking back at this year is, for those of us who have been connected spiritually, whatever that means. Maybe you just went to a psychic once. Maybe you are a psychic. Maybe you just believe in energy healing. Maybe you had an experience with the supernatural. Maybe whatever it is. You read a book. You watched John Edwards. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I think anybody and everybody who has some kind of spiritual connection, a practice, went to yoga, whatever they did, we were very much in our own way with this idea that we are weird or in it alone, or I don't know. And so I honestly think that when I look back and I look at what's unfolded for me and everybody here, is maybe we were all a little complacent. Maybe we all thought it was okay to just sort of believe what we believe or to do our own little thing. And what I think has changed, what I think the awakening is that we all suddenly were like, oh, wait, I think I have something to say. I think I have something to do. I don't want to be alone in this. And this community blossomed out of all of this. I mean, this all blossomed from this.
Yes.
And it's certainly not an accident, but it's also, I think, very poignant because it speaks directly to this idea that we awakened. This isn't, oh, these people are finally waking up. That's not what this is about at all. This is about us awakening to our own power and to each other, and that we're not alone, and that we can, in fact, support each other. It's not just one person. You know, one of the beautiful things about the MeWe community is everyone's supporting each other. There's no like, oh, it's my group or it's your group, or this person can do this and this person's an expert. Everybody's jumping in to help each other with their own gifts and talents. And that's the point. And so that's what I think about this year. And honestly, as we go into next year, I know we were talking before we went live, but I've got some big plans for our conscious collaborative community. But I think as we go forward, I think we're going to find that we have a lot more power than we realize. And that no matter what happens to the systems and constructs that fall apart around us, because we're existing with a more open mind and operating from our hearts and in compassion, we're already going to be where we need to be when things fall apart, because we are right now. Things have fallen apart for a lot of people, and here we all are together doing this great thing and being with each other. It's not negative at all. It's very positive. So I think there's going to be more and more of that in the years to come, not just next year, but the years to come. I mean, I think we have each other now, and it's about staying in that as a group. So that's what I think.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. And, you know, you touched on something very important, and it's action. You know, nothing happens unless we take action. And it doesn't have to be something huge. You know, many of us feel like maybe, you know, our gift isn't enough to help. But every single action helps. Inaction does nothing. You know, we can sit around, like you mentioned, and have our beverages and talk about what we think should happen, but without action, faith without works is dead. That's one of the platitudes that we have, is faith without works is dead. We can have all the faith in the world. And in fact, I've even gotten caught up in that thinking in the past. You know, there's some smart scientists that'll figure out this global warming thing. And so why should we have to worry about it? Well, you know, we can do it a little bit at a time, baby steps.
Yep. Agreed. Action.
Yeah.
All about action. And that's what everybody needs to think about after this week and all these presentations, is what action are you going to take? And I hope that you guys take action by watching the presentations. And there's so many free and awesome offerings on all of the pages that you guys could have a month's worth of support just doing the offerings. So I hope everybody does that, because that's amazing. I mean, truly.
Well, and that brings up something I posted earlier on ajatakasa. Let me see if I can find it. Remember this: as you heal yourself, you heal the world. As you bring light to your own wounds, you will bring light to the collective feminine wounds. As you continue to move into your true self, you will pave the way for women all over the world to do the same. You are the change we need now.
That's beautiful.
I found that very powerful this morning.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah. So now we've got to go do it.
Let's do it. Erica says, I've always been a do-it-myself type, and now it seems we're being called to collaborate. Oh, absolutely. I've always been a do-it-myself kind of gal too, and it's really gotten me in some binds sometimes. So this collaboration thing is the cure-all to end all for me.
Same here. And I'll plug the conscious collaborative community. I'm having a free call to kick off and explain what that is. So it does not matter what kind of work you do or what you feel called to do, but if you want to be part of creating a conscious community that collaborates with each other in the future, you want to come to that free call. And the call information, including the call in information, is on spiritualentrepreneurship.net. So spiritualentrepreneurship.net, the call info is right there. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything. You just have to show up. And I'll certainly share and post as it gets closer. But, you know, the collective has said to me, this is what you need to do next. And, you know, we being myself and all of you and the collective, like my mission in 2021 is that every spiritual person that is part of our group is thriving in a non-linear construct for their career and can leave the matrix behind them, and that we are all thriving because we're collaborating with one another. And so there's a lot more to come with that, but that is what is next really for me. And it's going to be awesome. So you guys want to come onto that free call and tell everyone you know that has a skill or, you know, has something they want to contribute, because it's going to be beautiful. I can't even wait. It's going to be awesome. And it's not going to cost you anything. There won't be any money involved in this. So get ready, because money won't exist eventually in the way that it does today.
That's beautiful, Lisa.
Oh, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I could talk about it right now, but I'm going to save it. But it's really going to be awesome. So get ready.
Well, we're excited to hear about it.
I know.
So everybody get on that call.
Yeah, it's totally a free call. It's going to be awesome. And I'm really excited about it. So yeah, there's going to be lots of support, and I've got some free support I'm going to be offering for everyone who is on the call too. So it's really going to be great. And yeah, Buddhist Biohacker, you guys, we're wrapping up the year. So I do have a couple announcements while we're here. If you don't mind, Keri, I'll share.
No, I don't know.
Cheryl Garcia, our resident herbalist, the Colorado herbalist, she has one last monthly segment this coming Thursday. So we will be live this Thursday to talk with her. And then this Friday, November 20th, I have a really special guest on Buddhist Biohacker, Andrew Bartzis. He is a galactic historian, and he is the most incredible Akashic records reader you've ever seen in your entire life. He's really amazing. I was thrilled he said yes, and he will be on the show on Friday. So you do not want to miss that, because he is really awesome. And then Monday, the 23rd, just after that, we have Clark Strand and Perdita Finn. These are New York Times bestselling authors, 9 books Clark Strand has written. They have a new book out. They wrote The Way of the Rose, and they have a direct connection with Mother Mary. And their new book is called Now is the Hour of Her Return. And they're going to be on speaking about her and about Kali and Mother Mary. It's going to be really awesome. So those are like my juicy last segments. And then we did coordinate with Delisa Hawking and Michelle Snelling and Melissa Devine and myself and a few other people. We are going to do a 2021 prediction show, and that'll be in December, but that's kind of it. We're wrapping up. We're coming in and cleaning house and getting ready for 2021, because we have all new shows, all new stuff happening next year. You guys just don't even know. I have a Universal Laws video segment, like a video series coming out. Surreal Stories is going to be coming out. All of the interviews, individual interviews for Awaken Grace will be coming out. The final part 2 will be coming out. I mean, it's just so much great stuff coming our way.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you do it? What is your secret?
I make a list and I do it.
I look around I have like 6 different lists here.
Yeah,
And
me too. Me
I
too.
just grab whatever paper's available, and then I'm like, oh, I know I made a note of that. Where are
Yeah,
my
I'm the same way, Keri. I have notes all over, but what I do is every Sunday or Monday. Oh, this girl, she's like basking in it over here, isn't she? Jeez, look at her little feet, you guys. Her feet are just sticking out. She's um I organize my lists like every Monday morning. So every Monday I come into my office and take all the papers and post-it notes and lists, and I go through and kind of make a clean list of like what's important and what's important through the filter of spirit, you know what I mean? Like that's really what I do. But honestly, the biggest thing is I've taken action, just like you're saying, like I do the list. Like if I didn't do it, I'm like, you know what? And I've worked like 50, 60, 70-hour work weeks this year, guys, and I'm not getting paid for that. That's just me committed to doing what I set out to do. And the only other trick I'll give you comes from 22 years in retail is I do compartmentalize my time. So my mornings, who was saying, somebody, a guest on the show was saying how much they loved their mornings and they protected their mornings.
Yes, that was just today.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Was it Michelle?
Maybe it was Michelle. I can't remember. But yeah, so mornings is time for me to reflect. It usually takes me a while to get out of my lucid dream state. So I usually have my purity coffee and just kind of sit and go through my lists and do some writing and stuff. And so I've learned my own circadian rhythm. So I think that's what I tell everybody is understand, like, I'm never going to be the spiritual woman who gets up at 4 a.m. and meditates. I'm sorry, that is not me. But
I'm right there with you.
Oh gosh, yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, it's just not me. I'm always jealous of those people who can do that. But I may be up until 10, 11, 12 in my bathtub meditating. So I kind of stick with my rhythms. Like I stopped doing readings early morning because I'm just not ready. So I do them in the afternoons. I do them on the days that I know I have high energy. So I guess that's my advice. I mean, in a nutshell, there's a lot of things I could say. And there's a lot of things in the spiritual entrepreneurship course that are helpful, actually. But I think for me, I do compartmentalize my time. If I'm with you right now, Keri, I'm with you. That's it. If I'm in a reading, I'm in a reading. But if I don't have my phone in my office when I'm on reading. So if you're texting me because you're late, I'm never going to get it. And if I'm writing, I'm writing. If I'm spending time with the kids, I'm with the kids. Like there's no, if it's email time, I'm on my email. If it's social media time. So I kind of compartmentalize everything into different like pieces during the day of what I feel like, and I'm really focused on it. So I don't do like 10 things at once.
That's really smart, Lisa, because I find, I'm still plugged into the matrix a little bit, and you touched on something, your circadian rhythm and how you honor that. And I can't wait for that day.
Yeah.
Because we all know what our circadian rhythm is, we're 11 o'clock, we get tired, we go to bed, at 8 a.m. we wake up, and I'm like you, Lisa, it takes me a while to get out of that dream state and move and have our purity coffee. By the way, I started drinking the purity coffee. Oh, you guys, it's so good.
It's
And
so
I'm a
good.
coffee snob.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really picky about my coffee, so I can't say enough about purity coffee.
More
Really.
antioxidants than most antioxidant supplements, and clean, pure. They have a decaf version. Do you not feel so much energy after? Like I feel like I have a ton of energy after because of the antioxidants and stuff in it.
I think you're right. Yeah, I do. Throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do find during the afternoon, especially being plugged into the matrix still, I'm just like dragging in the afternoon, and it feels like drudgery, and I am looking forward to going through the process of disengaging with that and more happy, joyous, and free.
Yeah.
And dancing more. By the way, ladies, from December 1 through December 22, every Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, I am going to do a little belly fitness class, a Zoom class. You're welcome. And a complimentary. I'm not going to charge anybody for anything. We can get our shimmy on for 40 minutes, and I will guarantee you, you can stand in one place and do this. And you can stand in one place and burn 200 calories in 40 minutes. So I would love, love, love to see you there. You can reach me at Keri, Keri.Brackett at outlook.com. I believe that's also on my presenter page. No excuses. If I can do this, anyone can, I promise you. Looking forward to rolling out the process in the very near future and offering my assistance for anyone who would like to just learn a little bit more about themselves and find balance in your life, heal those old wounds. I'm happy to hold your hand through that. We'll let you all know when that comes out.
Yes, we definitely will. And I put your email in there, so you guys can absolutely email Keri. She is an awesome belly dancer. We were going to do that during this event. I'm realizing right now we never did, but
I know.
it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it was one of those events, one of those things where I just kept trying harder, and now my mouth isn't working. I just kept trying harder and harder, and it wasn't working. So I'm like, maybe not now. The answer is not now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Keri is an awesome belly dancer. She's been doing. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, 15 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a master of nothing. But I do dabble in a lot of different things.
Yes. Yes. So take her class, send her an email. Totally. Sue's asking what day and time it is again.
Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. from December 1 through December 22. So it starts, I believe December 1 might be a Tuesday. I meant to shake these dates out for you before we got on this call, but Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. If we all like it, we'll keep it rolling.
Cool. Sounds fun.
It is fun. And you know what? It's food for your soul.
Yes.
And it bonds us. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed about belly dancing, and which initially appealed to me about it, is it's a community of encouraging people. I mean, we encourage each other. We don't compete. It's all about connecting at a heart level. Mm-hmm. And it's a great place to do that. Get your goober on.
I love it. Nancy, you're asking to have a link put in the chat, and I just don't know which link because I'm not sure when that was you wrote that comment. So if you can let me know what link you need, I'll throw it in there for sure.
If you send me an email saying you'd like to attend class, I'll send you a Zoom link so you can get on with us.
Any parting words of wisdom before we wrap this baby up?
Parting words of wisdom. Together we rise. Short and sweet. Yep. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, all you wonderful people who have attended and been summit warriors with us for this awakening event. It's been amazing.
It really has. It's been an awesome event, and just beautiful people and everything. And My call to action for everyone, I'm going to take a break from these electronics for the weekend, but my call to action is to engage the MeWe community. If you've joined the community, we have lots and lots of people join the community. So if you're one of those people, please introduce yourself. Please continue to build and engage on there, because that's just going to continue to support all of us as we go forward. And there will be a lot more coming your way in 2021. We already have some conferences and some things in place, and we'll be doing a November Awakening again next year. And we have so many good shows planned for next year. Many people mentioned Bruce Lipton. We're on the wait list to get him on the show. But we've had a lot of other people say yes. And so we're just going to keep this going. So thank you, Keri. You're such a light. I love you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to everybody. It's gotten very dark. I had to stop using my light because after several days, it's just too much for my sensitive little eyes.
I'll bet.
So that's where I'm at with that. That's why I'm so dark, you guys. But I love each and every one of you. Have an incredible weekend. Take time, create your own weekend watch parties, you guys. Like, create your weekend watch parties this weekend and watch some presentations and watch some lives that you missed and get connected with each other. And don't forget to share this channel, invite folks to be a part of our community, share it with everyone. Don't be afraid to comment on the YouTube videos, by the way. All of the presenters and facilitators and guests check those, and we'll be able to answer your questions and connect with you. So don't be afraid to do that too. I encourage lots of participation, because if it's you participating that brings this to life. Otherwise, we're just talking heads.
We don't want to be talking heads.
No. All right, guys. I love you all.
See you all at the dance.
Yes.